So Alberto, your pick is Tenpai, but can you not cheer for Tillman when you see it on the screen? Is it possible to not have it, you know?
you named it, oh. I mean,
oh.
And it is with the shifter, which actually is very impactful against Edoardo's deck. And
yeah. I think that's every Tillman player's least favorite card.
Yeah, for sure, and especially because like here, I really wonder if Edoardo actually.
Yeah, because at the same time, Tom, you wanted to look for a Crystal Beast player. Turns out your desire, unfortunately, made Edoardo draw the very one copy that you don't want to see. Yeah, that's a shame, but.
Especially because like now that the shifter has been activated, and I mean you have to do something, right? Because otherwise you're too exposed. And I mean there's the super poly, which maybe, you know, can help Edoardo out a bit.
But I think this could be a quick one because there is a lightning storm coming down from Niccolò. Wow, what a start! Getting rid of that super polymerization, and I guess having a hint as well at what the deck could be, because not many decks are remaining the card at the moment.
Still has to fight his way through that Emerald Tortoise.
Yes.
Got 2,000 defense, I believe. It's pretty big.
Here it is.
And even though the shifter does stop other decks, it can be a little annoying for Tenpai itself. It does cap the amount of damage you can do. I mean, I'm sure 8,000 through just a 2,000 defense monster is probably doable, but it's a little harder than usual.
Yep.
Niccolò just checking it doesn't have any
secret
effects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has a lot of text, but yeah, I don't think it does an awful lot unless you've got some monsters in your spell and trap card zone.
And you can see Niccolò actually, yeah, debating, thinking how to get across this damage. How can we play around this Emerald Tortoise?
It's too big.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got no other cards on the field as well, which makes it a bit harder to go into Trident Dragon for extra damage. So maybe he's got to think about it. It is a weird thing to see sometimes. You see Tenpai players set cards before the battle phase, and you think, what are you doing? Then you remember that they need cards on the field to pop, get extra attacks, and do extra damage. But with no cards on the field...
They're just playing Duel Links. There is no main phase 2 if you're playing Tenpai. You either lose or your opponent does. And that's it. But yeah, it does make life a little awkward, as you've mentioned, because obviously the Bident cannot come back. The Phaedra also is, you know, a little weaker than usual. So you still need to find a way to pilot Tenpai under Shifter. Although obviously it's hurting a lot more your opponent. So there is that.
Yeah, this Tortoise is really putting in some work. It's saved 3,200 life points already.
I mean, he's thinking about it, especially because, like, here, I think it's generating more problem than it should, the title, but...
That's how to beat Tenpai. Just play some 7,000 defense monsters, and there you go.
Oh, but here we have a nice little interaction where... Oh, he's used that anyway. Okay. It's quite a fun thing to do. You can add one, summon a different one, and then reveal to special summon it. But I guess he didn't have any further Tenpai monsters in hand.
Not quite the case. Yeah, and it doesn't look
convinced.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you can see him shaking his head a little bit.
But I don't know if the plan. Do you think like the plan was? I mean, maybe he wanted to seal the game now, but I mean, like it's not the end of the world.
They're banished.
Yeah, they're banished.
But Tenpai, it doesn't really present any.
I think we might have moved to Memphis 2, actually.
Oh my
wow,
this was
this
not
Tortoise putting in some work.
It survived as well. That's
0
incredible.
damage. That's absurd. And now the shifter's gone, and ooh, we do see arrive early. I mean, the Tortoise is Aqua, which is also one of the main reasons why we are playing that as a target. Do you like it being activated preventively here?
I can see it. Like, just stop your opponent doing any... I mean, I don't know what your opponent's going to summon that's kind of Aqua. I think going to the battle phase is not quite going to pan out how Edoardo wants, because Tenpai do not have many tricks during the main phase, but during the battle phase it can be quite difficult.
That's a great card, though. Now that Shifter is gone, we have so many good targets in the deck.
No longer the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, unfortunately. Or maybe we play 2 copies of the third one. Imagine.
Why stop there, you know?
Yeah. If they cannot out 1, how can they out 2?
Comes Trivikama, most often used to search the primeval planet Bologna. And you can still summon a couple of T-element monsters, but I don't know the types of all the monsters from the extra deck.
Yeah, obviously Niccolò's not really an option, so have to rely on different strategy. Wow, we're turning Tortoise not even just a 2000.
It's
a
done
threat.
everything. I'm a bit worried here because Niccolò could tribute. No, he could. Couldn't you just send off the Genroku and get a Fadra? Or does Fadra only stop your fire dragons from being destroyed by battle?
He's reading it and considering bouncing.
But a lot of the Tempai
Zone.
cards
Yeah,
have a lot of like. I think just anything can battle, right?
Yeah, as I was expecting, he bounced his own Genroku, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's just your fires can't be destroyed by battle. Okay.
Yep. Here we see another neat interaction where we just bounce back the Genroku and we can still special summon it.
Any fun synchro monsters here? Because the Genroku can make itself into a tuner if it's special summoned from the hand. Don't know if there's any exciting L7s to make. But yeah, I'm thinking for Edoardo's side, maybe he wants to fetch out a Bologna, but I don't know how he can use its effect to destroy the rivalry of the Warlords. That's the only way I can see to get around this rivalry. Niccolò cleverly putting all of his monsters in defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's trying to find his way now with the thrust being activated. Let's see what he decides to go for, and also change the Trivikarma, which makes sense. So he goes, you know, search directly. Not sure, because like he really has to deal with the rivalry of Warlords, and it's not going to be easy.
I mean, we can also get the grass if we want, right?
Oh, I like this. Look at this. You're right. And the heartbeat can be searched off Trivikarma. That should deal nicely with the rivalry. And then here comes grass, maybe.
I mean,
are you excited, Marcello?
I'm down for it. He has passed through it, but no.
Oh, why terraforming? Maybe he's already got grass. That's got to be it,
I
right?
saw it in the deck.
Why? Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I suppose like terraforming is more guaranteed what it will do, but
We don't like guaranteed time.
grass for like, there's a lot of cards banished from Niccolò. This would be a ton of removal.
Why not, Edoardo? No. But yeah, at least the RP is a great introduction in the main deck. I guess when you play 60, it's easier to make this kind of calls. And wow, look at the synergy. Okay.
Yeah, it sends from the hand to the graveyard, but I think Lurie doesn't really mind how it ends up in the graveyard, unlike an awful lot of cards from back in the day that have to be discarded. Maybe I'm wrong.
Because usually, I'm pretty sure they say discard, because back in the day, all the Fabled, but I don't know. Let's see.
Oh yeah, maybe it didn't. It just didn't come out.
Yeah, it's discarded. Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to remember what the Fables were.
Because I think it's the difference between like the Dark World and the Fabled back in the day. And yeah, this could have been grass, but it's terraforming.
Still an unbelievably powerful card. But
Yeah, I'm wondering whether though maybe this line with the Lurie was in his mind when he added the terraforming, because this could have made a huge difference if he thought he was getting that extra, you know, Life Fiend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I am gutted on you with you here. Like that, this is not a grass. Playing around something.
But here comes the Pearl Rhino. We're having a read at it, and no interruption yet. So we still obviously haven't even normaled. So
Still don't need to normal summon. That looks like a T-Elements Kashtira. Can be special summoned by banishing a T-Elements card, which does include Heartbeat.
and I think Avnis is the last card in hand, but this is also a bit confusing to me, because how is milling 3 better than milling 20. Like, no. And here, you know, you don't get impermanence. But yeah, here we try to follow through. And are we just going into the Finsmith combo?
Yeah, here comes
Looks like
Moon.
it.
Yeah, I've got such fun cards in the extra deck. You know, with the Fiendsmith combo, you can make the Pilgrim Reaper, so you can mill 5, which is still not 20, but it's something.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
And that's any 2 monsters. Unfortunately, we have some forbidden fairies that used to mill 5, but you know, we can be creative and find other ways.
Not sure unfortunate is the right word, but sure.
Unfortunate if you're a Tillman player.
Exactly.
Tillman is the deck that just keeps giving, right? All of its pieces, people find new ways to play the deck. Those
Absolutely.
Beatrice gets forbidden, like...
This probably gets the fun award as well, because typically a lot of your games are going to be different when you play a deck like this, where you still find different ways to get there, and yeah, it is definitely fun. But yeah, if this is all we got, I'm not convinced we will get there for next turn. So
You have to believe in the mill 5.
But this is gonna be enough though. Like it really needs like at least.
We are holding 2 cards. We do have the summoning for next turn for Niccolò, so that's kind of annoying to deal with.
I wonder... This is interesting. So there's Havness in hand for Edoardo, but Niccolò doesn't know that. And if Engraver gets summoned, then that presents a possibility of a Wave King Caesar. So it might prompt Niccolò to activate Genroku, which would allow the Havness to come down.
Yeah.
I think you have to like do your best, stare at your opponent. I'm about to summon Caesar now impression. You know, I have 2 level 6s. Do you want to do anything?
Let's see.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
You did it.
Ooh, that's not. Maybe
that wasn't what he wanted.
Maybe he shouldn't have. Maybe he shouldn't have. Oh, and yeah, maybe he shouldn't have gone for that motion because he prompted his opponent to go for the Nibiru instead. But yeah, now they're just gonna.
I think maybe they're just counting up the attack.
Yeah.
Can anything happen now with the just a Havness?
You sure that's the Abness? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the Avness.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't think so. So, do you like Nibiru at the moment? I don't think it's super popular in the main deck, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's one of those cards where the less popular it is, the kind of better it gets, because people stop respecting it so much.
For sure. No, maybe it's not.
Oh, it's the right.
Ah, no, it's not. Oh, the ultimate got me. Okay.
You deceived me. I completely believed you. I couldn't see what it was, but you were very confident.
Yeah, because from the end you could not tell the rarity, and yeah, it looked like that. Guess that makes sense why I didn't grab it with the Perle Rhino, because I was wondering why that was.
But it's just good. Like now with the Sharing, he gets to summon, you know, the Kaleido.
Yeah.
And then nicely here, I guess you can use the Kaleido to pop Nibiru, and maybe the field spell to pop your own Kaleido. Bring it back again. Send a few more send a few more Tillaments.
That's probably what he's debating about at the moment. Yep. Makes a lot of sense. And I guess... yeah, you do have a few options here, but...
Maybe a Dragos to Palia if he plays that in the extra deck. Making use of the Princess. Very easy way to get a Dark Fusion. I don't think you can make any Fiendsmith fusions with the Tillman cards, unfortunately.
Yeah, but you can also try and get... a drop? No, I don't know.
Or you can send Scream, maybe, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, but it's cool. It depends, because you have full information, right? And like it's not. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. If you guess no, because you cannot use Scream. But I was thinking, how do you lose if you have like Meta Noise or?
Yeah, you send Scream and search.
Yeah.
Saryak. And this is really powerful, isn't it? Because you've got one negation, you get a pop.
Because like you have full knowledge. If they want to use the summoning, they're left with 0 cards. So any of those beat it. Like even Meta Noise, I thought was arguably stronger, but like this works perfectly as well.
This is a really powerful showing from Tielemans. I mean, imagine getting like shifted, rivalried, and still just it's all in the tortoise.
All right, Edoardo, I see why you didn't get the grass. Still, I'll give you that one.
Are there any tricks that Sangan summoning offers?
I highly doubt it.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
lie.
so, yeah.
It's like, I guess you can try to reset, but like, yeah, that's probably the best that you can do, because you can get into a synchro right away, maybe. But does he have the? Yeah, I don't think he has the Chandra. Yeah, right.
But
That was banished.
Yeah, so you can get the Kaiman though, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking whether he could access a synchro right away, but yeah.
Yeah, this is looking a bit troubling, right? Because you can search Chandra and then add, and you can do quite a lot in your main phase while your monsters are unaffected. And I think you can start the battle phase with the Ascendant Dragon, which would stop any effects coming down in the battle phase. Only issue being the Kaleido Heart is 3,500.
Yeah. Because if you go and bounce it back, my question is, because it's unaffected, right? But can they still attempt to?
Oh, what are you thinking when you can try and use the Saliak?
And then does it
I don't know, actually.
resolve the first part? Yeah, I guess it's not the greatest regardless, but yeah, could be relevant. If you try to just like Moonlight, I was thinking, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you can use it because... But
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise he can't do anything.
Nope. But yeah, I do like this. Very well spot.
Oh no, is this the Ruddy Rose? Oh no, okay. I was scared for a Ruddy Rose as well.
No, because at this point you can just access it afterwards with the Chandra. You can then spin back the Kaleido to the extra deck. So this works perfectly. Very well spot by Niccolò.
This has really been a back and forth game.
Yeah.
Every turn it's changed. So yeah, I don't know if you can try and use the Saliak. I feel like you can't, but maybe that's... Because if you could, it would make a reasonable difference. I feel like...
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You'd get an extra fusion.
I feel actually quite a big difference, because then you could also probably use the Perlerino to destroy the summoning and maybe do some cheeky lines in there, but yeah. This is not happening, so right now...
Yeah, it looks like we're already in the battle phase.
Yeah. We are resolving the Chandra. And yeah, this is the Moonlight that I was thinking, where we... Ah, he crashed.
Ah, I crushed it.
You can bring it back and then pop a card. Yeah, this is so much damage.
It's a lot.
Although he's turned it off, though.
That's what I was thinking. Why?
Yeah, you don't want to turn it off yet until it can come straight back.
Couldn't we just attack with the Chandra over the token and use it that way?
The token's way too big.
Yeah, no, but I meant just to trigger the effect. If we want to, like, and not waste their attack and keep it on the field. Like, I thought that was okay, but...
Yeah, it feels very risky turning it off.
Yeah. Ah, yeah.
Ah, this is really interesting. Like, giving your opponent a chance. I think before 3 attacks happen, you have to start resolving some effects, right? I mean, you could probably stop 3 attacks happening at all.
Yeah, that was... it seems like Niccolò really found a way to make the best of it, but then I think this final decision can really cost him.
Yeah, because if you can get 3 attacks in, then the Biden can come in and...
The only thing is you can just chain to prevent the resolution, right? And you're fine. Depends which target you use, because...
oh, I see.
You know?
Do you still have to send a card if it doesn't...
No. But I don't think he did chain it. So, yeah, this is... yeah, this is just resolving. So I'm pretty sure it doesn't resolve if you don't have the target anymore. But apparently not. Niccolò let it resolve. So now we are.
Maybe it was in response to an effect, but it doesn't matter. You can use both of them
exactly.
in the same chain.
Yeah, bit of an unfortunate sequencing maybe. And now Edoardo is back in it. As you have mentioned, I think we have only declared one attack up until now. So I think this is plenty, because right? I'm pretty sure it was just one attack.
Oh, but it must have been only one, right?
From the Transcendent. I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Wow. Definitely an interesting one to start things off here in round 3. 20 minutes for this game 1, not something you see every day, especially when Tempai gets to start with a shifter. And yeah, back and forth. A lot of decisions from both players. During the tournament turn, we discussed grass, obviously, but there was a lot in there. And yeah, in the end, though, thanks to the setup from the previous turn and also playing multiple fight routes, because that's not obvious, it seems like Niccolò was back in it. But then, or maybe he just forgot about the field spell boost. Maybe that's an option as well.
He might have forgot about it, right?
Because I'm thinking that makes sense as well. He probably forgot about, because I would highly doubt that he would crash that on purpose.
No, there's no way.
It has to be that he forgot about the boost and then they told him, yeah, it's actually bigger. And yeah, that maybe explains it. But I guess we can ask about that later on in the discussion when we're going to see whoever wins. But regardless, now it's my favorite part of any Tempai matches. It's where the mind games begin of do you think you're going to go first or second? I guess in this case, it's going to get more interesting in game 3 if we are getting there, because this game I would be shocked if Niccolò doesn't go second. But what do we think he's going to bring in?
Oh, you've got the side decks up there, Alberto. We had a look at an interesting card at the beginning, which is Gravity Collapse.
Yeah, we were talking about it before, actually. I think it would be a debate, either this one or the Heat Wave. Honestly, if we get the chance, to interview Niccolò, maybe we may ask him. But then again, I think Niccolò is going second once again in this kind of matchup. And I mean, I don't really say why he should be going first. I feel like he's, maybe more prepared of going first rather than going second. Because, like, Tempai usually, like, your opponent lets you start if, you win game 1. On the other hand, like, looking at the other side deck, what do you think, Tom? Like,
I don't see an awful lot for Tempai in the side deck, if I'm going to be honest with you. Like, maybe a Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood is actually a card you could just side in against Tempai.
Yeah,
like,
why not?
They're supposed to do 8,000, and they're never going to do 8,000 when you play the Ghost Sister, so...
Yeah, it seems like he's convinced that just through his engine he can beat the deck, and I can see it. So it's one of those decks, as we have seen, that can also set up some traps, and so it has different layers of interruptions. And yeah, let's see if that's gonna work out though. As our duelists are almost ready with their side decks, let's jump back into action for game 2.
Here we go. We're going to see who chose to go first, or who Niccolò chose to go first.
I see a lot of spells from Edoardo, which is usually a good sign. Although that tortoise was the real MVP, let's talk about that. Yeah. Oh no! Okay. So actually Niccolò goes first. Wow, all right.
Always feels like a bit of a gamble with Tempai going first, because there are some extremely powerful cards like Heatwave or Gravity Collapse or anything like that, but if you don't draw them, it feels very weak.
Yeah. No, especially against a deck like Tier Elements, which is like, I mean, it's one of those few decks that going second can actually break fields just without, seeing any non-engines. But apparently Niccolò is convinced that's the way to do it. And
he's also got those dimensional barriers we can see popping up there. Very popular side deck card this weekend. Tielement is a fusion deck, but I don't think it's as hurt by dimensional barrier as other sort of traditional fusion decks.
So yeah, we are gonna we're gonna go for a full setup. Unfortunately, I see an Ash Blossom from Niccolò. Unfortunately, because we all know what spell I want to resolve this match. Yeah. Maybe he gets baited into activating it. But yeah, this is the good old combo, if we can call it that, from Tenpai, it looks. But no, we have a change of mind. Yeah, seems like he was going for... Usually you go Bident into then the Erratic Seal. There are arguments for this, but yeah, I do think it's usually correct.
Guess if you have 2 Bident, then why not? Use the first one now. Oh, is this a gravity collapse? This must be, right?
I mean,
Because
I think
gravity
so, yeah.
collapse requires you to send a synchro monster.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so. Otherwise, I don't really see why, you know. But let's see. There's the Super Poly being activated by Edoardo.
This is the biggest punish possible. Yeah, you can see. Garura making an appearance, and this is huge. This could be it, because as you have mentioned, if that is a gravity collapse, it's a scary card, and I would... It's not even that popular, is it? Like, maybe... Well, it's getting up there, but like Heatwave usually is the preferred choice. But I guess Edoardo really putting that super polymerization to work, and this hand is absurd.
You've got to think he had absolutely no idea he was playing around.
You know, that's what I was saying.
It's not even a card like I knew existed before I saw it on Niccolò's deck.
That's what I'm saying, but Edoardo played it around that perfectly. On purpose, of course. Yeah. We gotta ask him that. What would you think that says down was?
Like, you give him 1,000 guesses.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You could tell him it's a counter, I think. And yeah, we do see the Ash on the track, but I think we have the Pearl Rhino. I don't know. I see a lot of spells. It seems like an incredible end for sure.
Also, the Foldage Burg Guts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, very good hand from Edoardo.
1 Ash. Not going to cut it.
Yeah, because also I'm not sure he has any other interruption at the moment. So, yes, I wanted to see our good old friend once again.
Well, you need the Tortoise at this point, right? Because that gets you into Moon of the Closed Heaven.
There it is. Won in game 1. Absolutely.
The most important card of the deck.
It really was, by the way. And now, yeah, we are getting it once more here in game 2. And yeah, I feel like it has gotten significantly better. Because, as mentioned, you can just make close move with it.
Here comes the Horus field spell, Walls of the Imperial Tomb. It's like an extra version of King's Sarcophagus, more or less.
Yeah, we haven't seen this part of his deck in game 1, but makes a lot of sense. So much synergy. It usually gets you into a lot of interesting extra deck option. And
here comes the all-important Emerald Tortoise.
And there is the Sarcophagus.
Grass off the top.
Not quite. I think it was a trap card.
In case anyone's confused, that Walls of the Imperial Tomb does actually count as a King's Sarcophagus. Edoardo probably just pointing that out there.
And now we use it, and we actually throw a pretty sick card to discard.
Perfect card to discard.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to mill, even without that grass looks greener, because 2 level 8s can make everyone's favorite zombie vampire, which is seeing quite a lot of play in the moment, thanks to the Fire King deck. So I quite like the Tearlament deck asserting itself as the best home for zombie vampire.
Absolutely.
Let's see if now Edoardo can seal the game, because I think he's just making some maths just to understand if this will be the case or not.
I'm pretty sure he also has that Nibiru from last game in mind, but
he's still got to give the crowd what they want to see. You know?
yeah, absolutely. But I think technically this is still the 4th summon, right?
Assuming he's going to summon something off the zombie vampire there. Does he have a fire dragon to summon?
By the way, Edoardo's had it in this pocket of wood.
He did, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I think he just hit a scream.
Yeah, he did. And he's going to get the mana noise just in case anything weird happens, because obviously, as you have mentioned, he's still going to play around that face down, because we don't expect him to actually know what that was. And
I mean, it's not impermanence, it's not droplet. So
maybe, like there is a world in which you don't really use it on the vampire, I think. So
this is already nearly 8,000.
Yeah.
This would be over 8,000 now, because the Garura does double damage.
yeah, because we also can go Rhino, and yeah, this is a lot.
But I guess maybe you'd be thinking Sangan Kaiman is a possibility, so I guess you want to play around that a little bit.
Yeah. But no, there is no response at all from Niccolò. There comes the Avnis, but there is one last glimmer of hope in the Magnum.
This deal's, I feel, falling out of favor a bit at the moment, but still powerful enough to be included in the Tempai deck, especially the Magnum, since it gives you the chance to search any of your Tempai monsters during the end phase.
Yeah. So, to recap, I think Edoardo is holding the Meta Noise and Scream, and that's it, yeah. So,
are there any nice targets for something like a Dark Charmer? Because this is not 8,000.
yeah.
But in order to trigger the effect of Scream, you just need to have a monster summoned whilst...
Because SP doesn't cut it, right?
Yeah, you're never ending the game with an SP. Oh,
yeah,
Moon.
You can throw a card.
He's still got all his Fiendsmith fun
Yeah.
to be had. And very powerful with the Telements deck, because Sequence doesn't have to just summon a Fiendsmith fusion monster. You can summon a Telement fusion monster.
There comes the Graver.
I love the way any cool new engine comes up and
Yeah,
Telement deck just scoops it up and says, yep, I can include you.
absolutely.
I have a lot of fun with that.
And the deck looks very consistent as well, I think, you know.
Is he going to mill? No, doesn't
Yeah, the only limit is the extra deck, really, for tier elements, because it seems like you can do a lot, but pretty sure even 20 would feel too small for it. But
Telement do have such good sort of recycling with the fusion monsters being shuffled, or cards being shuffled back with the Telement cards and now the Fiendsmith cards. It feels like you get quite a lot of, you know, you can make do with a smaller extra deck than you might in other decks where they kind of link through everything really quickly and run out of cards. I'm wondering, he didn't use the Requiem there, so maybe he has sided out an extra copy of Engraver or something like that.
Gonna destroy the Magnamoth, a bit of a confusion there between the players, but Fenrir was the pickup off the top. Not really gonna help here, but
Did he not use sequence
wow,
yet?
no, yeah, he didn't. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Reinhardt's going on a journey.
Slow down. Also, Rhino was to the spell and trap for a moment, but
Ooh, there's
wow,
a sprint.
Okay, to Merlin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is there really no way to summon something with sequence?
that seems a little odd to me, but
Maybe he didn't have the right requirements.
there comes the tortoise once again, putting in that work.
It's gone on a journey. This is less damage than we started with, I feel like. But
And now we find out, no, we're not. Nope.
he's never gonna know.
We know.
He's never gonna know how close he was
No.
to being hit with the gravity collapse. Can this just equip itself to any? Oh yeah, yeah, you can. Okay,
Yep.
equip itself to the engraver. How much damage is this now? Because the princess gains 500. And the Collider Heart gains 500, and then the Sprint. So I think that should be like 7,400.
Yeah, I think almost there. Yeah.
Wondering what kind of card the Niccolò could be hoping to draw to get out of this spot. He knows there's a meta noise face down.
Yeah. Seems like mission impossible.
Here comes Elemental Hero Bubble Man.
Into
Feather Duster. Oh, he's still got the Magnumate though,
Yeah.
which could make a lot of difference actually.
Can also get Genroku right away, right? Yeah.
And out comes Genroku. You can start the turn with a couple of monsters in play. This might actually be much more doable than it looked like a second ago.
Yes, no. Because the difference maker, no, it's definitely a lot better. But the summoning, as we saw last game, makes a ton of a difference, of course. And with it being gone, it's a bit tougher. But
The one card I'd be terrified of if I was in Edoardo's shoes is the Ruddy Rose Dragon. It's a level 10 synchro, and when it's synchro summoned, it banishes all monsters from both players' graveyard. In fact, all cards from both players' graveyard, so quite a lot of stuff.
yeah. Even that Black Road Dragon wouldn't be that bad at the moment if you can actually use it. Ooh, was that shift there? Might have been. Yeah, I think so. Damn. Unfortunate pickup, but let's see. Niccolò showed us that he really knows how to fight back into what seems like a very complicated field from his opponent. So let's see if he can find the line once again.
I feel like you have almost no choice but Chandra there. These mills off of Scream could be make or break.
Yep.
There we go.
3v. Oh no!
Oh no!
That's not the way I wanted that card to be on the field, but we'll take it.
Well, the tortoise could make another appearance thanks to the Rainbow Bridge. Or is Rainbow Bridge once per duel to add?
Maybe.
Or am I making that
so.
up?
Just check.
I wouldn't think so, but
That's a very powerful effect.
Once per duel.
Yeah, it's only once per
you are
duel.
Correct, Tom. Yeah.
I got confused because one time I thought Trivikama was once per duel.
yeah.
And I was like, did I just make that up? No, but it's just the Rainbow Bridge that's once per duel.
Okay. And yeah, this is brutal because it's a Book of Muin kind of like 2.0 version, because then you get to actually combo with your tier elements. And yeah, this represents 2 forms of interaction, so I really don't see anymore a way that Niccolò can stay in this.
No, you're right. The fusion, the send off Kaleido Heart.
Yeah. And yeah, as you can see, it's gonna be able to activate Kaleido, then make a fusion, and with the field spell, finally destroy the Phaedra, leaving Niccolò only with this shifter that was picked up a turn too late. And yeah, you can see Niccolò looking at his shifter, looking at the field, and you know what's up. Handshake comes down, and it is Edoardo winning 2-0, moving on with an undefeated record here in Bologna with this tier element deck. What a show off. Wow.
I was not disappointed by that tier element display at all. I mean, only missing thing, of course, was that grass looks greener. Could have gone for it in the first game. Denied the crowd. Honestly, that's what we can be the most
absolutely. I would like to interview him, but that's not going to be my part, so I hope whoever will ask a question about that. But I mean, in the end, it was understandable. Still, I think game 1 was really interesting, because again, it's not often that you have so many decisions from both players, I feel like, and it really could have gone either way. It looked at time, as you've mentioned, also like a real back and forth, because sometimes it looks like a back and forth, but you know it's not real. In this case, yeah, it really was. There were a lot of moments in which I think the outcome could have changed significantly, and I think if Niccolò has might have some regrets on this, it would be that turn. It could totally be that you could tell even in game 2 that he wasn't too familiar with the tier element deck. So something like with Alberto, we usually call them secret effects, because you read the card, you're like, oh yeah, he adds, and then you just keep on the rest, and then that cheeky 500 boost gets you, and yeah, sometimes it really does. But I'm convinced. I think the deck still has what it takes, so I want to see more.
I think more copies of Emerald Tortoise is the way to go. We saw how powerful it was in game 1.
Yeah.
Allowing him to survive.
No, but I feel like the deck in general works very well. As you mentioned, Tom, I think like the more time passes, I think the deck's still good, no? And also like with the Finsmith themselves, I think there were like very cool interactions. Also the way he used the, let's say the sequence before along with the Sprite Sprint, I really liked it, honestly. It's working out very well. And I think Edoardo really knows what he's doing. Like, he knows the deck very well in and out. And also looking at the side deck, I think he's prepared like for the most matchups this weekend. And yeah, also like with the Horus package, one of, like more of interaction with our opponent. And he's playing some Kashtira cards as well. I mean, I really like the deck, to be fair. And there's the Super Poly, which I've seen quite at the top tables. And I mean, the grass looks greener, honestly. I mean, maybe we got the chance to see him on stream. Maybe, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. On the other hand, obviously, Tempai is one of the most popular deck this weekend, as you would expect. And I feel like duelists have to prepare for it in one way or another. We were a bit surprised by the side deck of Edoardo, not really hanging much specifically tailored against it. Nowadays we see a lot of trap cards such as Dimensional Barrier, or more Daruma Cannons are, I think, like the top tiers choices, because you can use the Trusts and then take advantage of them using a lot of Mulcharmies or Shifter. But you know what Edoardo's got? Not many duelists got the Tortoise. He doesn't need those trap cards. Look at game 1. Go back to game 1. How do you beat Shifter with tier elements, set a Tortoise? You're good to go. That's it. That's history in the making.
That's the one, yeah. And one other card that I've seen and maybe worth mentioning is Threatening Roar. It's a card extremely powerful against Tempai, even better arguably than the Dimensional Barrier.
Absolutely.
And, however, I mean, in general, I really feel like that the deck is scary, yeah? Because like I've seen a lot of players still relying on the Tenpai deck, and I mean, honestly, like the more you advance into the tournament, the more I think like the chances are you're going to play against Tenpai.
Yeah. But it was really amazing back and forth one. So if you have missed any of the action, any of those key moments, we want to hear it from the man of the hour, Edoardo, going undefeated with tier elements. So we are ready for the post-match analysis.
Thank you, Marcello. Indeed, we are on for the post-match analysis with our winner, Edoardo. First of all, congratulations for taking down that featured match. Tielemans, your deck of choice. Is it like, with Tielemans players, usually it's like that they play that deck for forever. How long are you playing the deck for?
Actually, I picked up the deck like last year.
Okay.
I never actually had the chance to play it at full power, maybe once. And I'm like, I don't like the other alternatives such as Tenpai or Snake Eye, so I stuck with tier because like Grass is a fun card.
Absolutely, it's a very fun card now, yeah. Can you put the microphone a little closer?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, perfect. And yeah, we're going to look at a couple of things from the match actually. So let's go into the first highlight, game number 1. So you knew you're probably playing against Tenpai, right? As soon as your opponent sent you first, and then we see they kind of failed clearing that Crystal Beast you had on the field there, right? Were you surprised? Do you think they had a little bit of a misstep there because they couldn't get over it for some reason?
Yeah, I feel like they could capitalize on my, like, I say brick, because they even got the Storm for the Super Poly, which was like the only out while I was under Shifter.
Yeah.
But it told me that since the Turtle, the Emerald one was like 2k def, it was like kind of struggling with math or something. So I was like so ready to give up that game.
Especially after the Shifter, right?
Yeah,
the Shifter
like,
was just...
I was like, if they have Shifter and a Broadbaker combined, I can go to game 2. And
yeah, for sure. But you did indeed get another turn, so let's go into the next highlight where we can then see the next turn, because in the end we see there was V-Seals but also a rivalry, which was the next problem then for you actually. And you were going into the battle phase. What was the plan there at that moment? Were you sure you could already, because you had the Trivic Karma in the graveyard already, so you knew you could get to the Heartbeat, right?
Yeah, but I wanted to, since I also had the Trust in the end, I wanted to commit him a card on the board. So I tried with the attack on the sphere, because they obviously will chain it for sure. And I feel like I figured it out, like it worked out, because my initial plan was to get Trust active live as soon as possible when I get to terraforming for the planet. Since the Crystal Beast is an Aqua. So that was the best way to clear 2 cards with Kaleido.
I mean, it was pretty clean for sure. And speaking of clean Tielemans gameplay, the third highlight we have still from that first game actually, and that's going to be you summoning out the Kaleido. And I mean, you're an experienced Tielemans player, but some of the newer players may not know. Explain us the interaction between Kaleido Heart and the Pearl Rhino, because that's pretty unique and cool, right?
Yes, that's basically one of the I would say basic play, because Kaleido gets summons back when it's popped, when it's sent from the field to the graveyard.
So you can destroy it yourself, basically, right?
You destroy it and you basically go +1, because you can choose whichever card you want to dump it from the deck. Sorry. So I was like debating which Tielemans trap was the best to choose in that particular spot.
Yeah. And I mean, you ended up going for Scream and then Scream Surge to Vasalic, right? In the end?
Indeed. Yeah.
And I mean, that won you the game. You won that first game. And I mean, honestly, after that start, you were probably really, really happy about winning that game, right?
Capitalizing on that, I would say, mistake so much.
Yeah, that was great. And then game number 2 started with another interesting decision. So next highlight coming, and we can talk about it. Were you surprised that your opponent started instead of going second for the second game?
I would say pretty common, because I played a lot with a friend of mine, and he told me that sometimes with this particular Tenpai build, which is maining the trap cards, like some of the Warlords, it can happen to start from them. So I kept in the super polymerization, and I feel like I sided. No, I didn't side. I guess I can't really recall it.
Yeah. And I mean, then you had that perfect answer of the super polarization, though, because you saw later on what the set plan was, right? It was ground collapse, so you could just clear all the monsters. And I mean, what do you think about ground collapse? It's just, maybe Solemn Judgment is just better, because ground collapse needs that monster on the field. You cleared it right away.
I was trying to figure out why it kept the synchro on the field. But I also had the Foolish Goods to pitch the Rainbow to get the Kashtira field spell.
Yeah.
But luckily I didn't do that because he told me that if I had gone for the Fenrir, he would probably just activate the ground collapse and my turn was like basically done. So
Yeah, pretty much. But then your turn went on for quite a bit longer, and we have to talk about it a little bit because it seemed like you had so many monsters, but you didn't quite get to the 8,000 points of damage that you wanted to do, right?
Yeah, because like I didn't want to. I wasn't sure. I wasn't really sure if I could OTK him or not. So I went like for the safest play, I would say, because I wanted to clear the field spell. Because that's the only like obstacle I would say.
His only comeback plan, basically, right?
Yeah, but also I had the Salic set, so my whole interaction was there.
Yeah.
And it could go even +4, but I only needed the Salic
Yeah,
live.
speaking of the interaction, we actually have that as our last highlight going into the last turn of the match, where you then have the Salic set, the Kaleidohot on the field again, which is pretty massive. And I think that is now the moment where you then go for that interaction. So in general, what would you say? How's the matchup against Tenpai? Is it a 50-50 or are you favored? What are you thinking?
Super unfavorable. It's a super unfavorable matchup for me.
Okay.
When they got, like, if they get Shifter and a solid board breaker, it's really, really hard. Unless I can access to, like, both Super Poly, and the Black Goat. Black Goat is...
So you must be really, really happy that you got to win that third round here, even on feature match ban, right?
Yeah, that's like a first for me, so...
Yeah, so like, again, the interaction we see, we summon out, or we actually send the Shiren to get for a fusion summon, so we get to book the Chandra, and then of course now also the Pearl Rhino will take care of another monster, and then there's nothing really left for them, right?
Yeah, like, Kaiman was done, so I only needed to get rid of both face-up monster, and also I had the Prada plan for a backup plan, but at that point I don't know which card he had in hand. I was like super scared of something funny.
Absolutely. So all in all, what's the plan for the day? Did you come here to Bologna to win the tournament?
It's kind of hard, but let's keep milling, I would say. Like,
I mean, you're off to a good start, right? 3-0. So just keep it going round by round, maybe.
Thank you.
And yeah, congratulations for that. And of course, thank you for joining me here on the analysis desk.
Thank you for the interview.
And we will be now going over again to Mr. Ed Templar, who has some more news for you.